understand that, and this is what reflection did for me, that you can be a task-oriented person, but there's also that people part. You can care about people. You know, reflection makes you look at yourself, and it makes you think about how you want your legacy to be remembered. Do you want people to say about you that she didn't care anything about people at all? It was all about the task. If you did a good job, she was okay with you. But if you didn't do a good job, she had no use for you. Do you believe that when people feel that way, when they feel that you don't care, that it's only about the project, the process, whatever it is that you have going on right now, whatever it is that you're trying, whatever goal it is that you're trying to achieve, if people feel that it's only about that and not about them, or not about what's in it for them, folks won't buy into you. They won't see you as authentic. They won't see you as a person that they can count on. As leaders, we're all held to this level of responsibility. And as leaders, we want to be people that are trustworthy. We want people to believe what we're saying, and we want them to buy into our vision. And it's hard to do that when we're not authentic. So a time of reflection helps us kind of walk through the pieces to define whether or not we really are authentic. It's easy to put on a face when we walk out. It's real easy for you to see what I want you to see. But when it's just me alone by myself, and I have to look at that real person in the mirror and say to that person in the mirror, you know, this is really who you are. This is the person that is truly you. And then ask yourself, do you like that person that you see in the mirror? Well, in a lot of cases, I didn't. And I knew that I had to do something about that. So I worked really, really hard to change from being a person that was, you know, fake to a person that was authentic. And I believe that I've always cared about people, and that I've always done some of the things that I talk to you about now, but I wasn't real good at it. I had to learn how to really apply these principles that I'm sharing with you, apply those to my own life. I wanted to change people's lives. I wanted to make a difference, and I still do. So that's why I'm sharing with you these tips that have helped me to overcome some of those barriers that kept me from being all that I could have been early on in my life. Certainly I was able to get over them, or I wouldn't have been so successful at work or so successful in my personal life. But I probably could have been a whole lot more successful a whole lot earlier had I had applied these principles way early in my life. So a time of reflection gives you the opportunity to connect with your inner self. It gives you the opportunity to also look at you, look at your true self. Nobody else is watching, it's only you. You look at your true self, and then you determine whether or not that's the person you want to be. And let me just say this to you. If it's not the person you want to be, change. It's real simple. That's what we all do. Don't let anybody condemn you, or don't let anybody convince you that you messed up so bad, or you're just not, you know, you're just really horrible, because you're not. You know, you look in the mirror, you see whether or not this is the person that you really want to be. And that's what we all do. We evaluate our behaviors. We look at somebody different, and we measure ourselves up against those people, and we determine if those folks are worthy of our trust. But people are doing the same thing about us. They are measuring themselves against us, and they're wondering if we are worthy of their trust. So self-reflection helps us to connect with our inner motives too. When I say the inner self, I told you earlier, for me, it's the Holy Spirit telling me whether or not, you know, LaSharnda, you're not doing the right thing. LaSharnda, you're on the right track. For others, you may not understand what I'm saying, but you still have this inner voice. And some of you will refer to your consciousness, but I'm saying to you that there is an inner voice that will say to you that, you know, that's not quite right. You should do this. Or maybe, you know, this should be changed. or if you want to be able to connect with people, you need to do this. I can tell you one thing that I've learned from listening to my inner voice and listening to what I call the Holy Spirit saying to me, and that is, you know, there's never a time that I won't be with you, and there's never a time that I won't help guide your decisions if you just listen. Our problem as human beings is that we think we already have the answers, that we already know what's best. And you know what? When we mess up and we keep messing up and we keep messing up, you know, we keep piling it on. It's kind of hard to kind of dig ourselves out of that because, you know, we keep going back to how we messed up and how we did so poorly and how we did so badly and how nobody's going to like us if they find out. But I've learned that the reason it's imperative for that time of reflection is because it's only you, and you're looking at yourself and you're making a straight up evaluation of that person in the mirror. And you're saying to that person in the mirror, I like what I see or I don't like what I see. And if I don't like what I see, it's okay to change it. I don't have to keep on being that person. Think about it for a minute. Nobody knows the real you except you, because we can all put on an act out in front of everybody else. If I'm a liar, I'm a liar. And everybody else may not know it, but I know it. Self-reflection says to me, LaSharnda, you got to stop lying so much. You know, if I'm a gossip, I'm a gossip. If I'm a person that's a backbiter, that's what I am. I'm a backbiter. And the person in the mirror knows those are my traits. So what do I do about it? I change it. I pray and I ask God to help me to change it. And then you don't just pray and leave it as that. And that's what I hear some people say. And some things I hear people say are just absolutely just doesn't convince me. And that is this. You can pray, but you got to take action. You can, you know, acknowledge that you have these character flaws, but you got to do something about them. You can have faith, but faith without action is futile. So I'm saying to you, everything that I talk to you about, anything that I talk to you about, there needs to be some type of action taken so that you become a better you. Positive reflection is a time of quiet solitude. It's a time for you to get in touch with the true you. It's a time for you to get in touch with the authentic you so that you can walk out and you can be the person that God's called you to be. You don't need to be afraid of the real you. You don't need to be embarrassed of the true you. And you don't need to be ashamed of the true you. A lot of times we don't want to reflect. We don't want to reflect because we're ashamed of what we've done. We're ashamed of where we come from, or we're ashamed of some behavior. That's why, as you go through these steps, you will start to master those behaviors that you don't like in your life. You'll start to be able to exercise self-control. Positive reflection will help you with self-control too. Haven't you found yourself just lose control and say the wrong thing and then regret it later? And you wonder why you said what you said. You wonder why you did what you did. Well, positive reflection, again, gives you the footing so that you can pray or you can meditate and you can think about, you know what? I don't want to behave like that. I don't want to lose my temper. I don't want to lose control at work. I don't want to be angry. I want to be a happy, healthy person. I want to be a person that makes sound decisions. I want to be a person that makes an impact. Remember that, you know, our attitudes, all of those things that we take in, they affect our attitude. And if we take in a lot of garbage, instead of happy, healthy lives, we will manifest negative, unhappy lives. The goal is to live happy every day, no matter what it is that you face, no matter what it is that you have to go through. It is time for us to stop making excuses about our behaviors. It is time for us to take these tips, these positive tips, and use the word positive. You affirm yourself every day. Say to yourself that you have favor. Say to yourself that you're worthy and that you're valuable. In that time of positive reflection, remind yourself just how wonderful you are. And as you walk out, you'll make a wonderful impact on the people around you. You won't be the person that's coming up and everybody's dreading seeing you enter into their sphere because of your negativity. You are trying to be a better you. You are trying to transform your life. I go back to Romans 12:2, and it says to us that we should transform our minds. And so I'm encouraging you today to do it. You know, I said before that I have a book, When You're Happy With You, by Dr. LaSharnda Beckwith. When You're Happy With You is available for you to purchase on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Zulon Press, anywhere you go on the internet, you can find that book for purchase. I'd like for you to go and get it and read it and I know that it'll help add value to who you are. I'm so glad that you joined me today, and I appreciate you being a part of this. Remember, there's 5 tips. Those tips are positive reflection, reinforcement, nutrition, energy, and encouragement. And as we go through the next few weeks, we're going to go over those. I really appreciate you. And I want you to join me next Monday as we go over these 5 tips for a successful life for you. God bless you and have a great, wonderful, and happy week.